Happy Friday, everybody. How y'all doing out there? Hope you're all well, staying safe, inspired, all that jazz. Today, we are going to do a little double review action. Both from Zaris and Ghost Hack. One is Cybersynth. There's been a bit of build-up for that, and Shimmer as well. And Rick has been on the show, aka Zaris, talking about these things previously. And we were going to have him on today, but I think he's a little too busy finishing up the Shimmer kontakt instrument. It's a nice little follow-up release that's going to happen pretty soon. Welcome all of you. Guy, Paul, bunch. Saffron, how y'all doing? We will mostly just be jumping into this because these are super huge. The Shimmer library is like 22 gigs large. And Cybersynth, I want to say it's like maybe 6 gigs or something. Let's take a look. Let's find out together. All right, well, let's cut down on our clutter here. Okay, so the Cybersynth pack is 6 gigs. The Shimmer pack is about just shy of 22 gigs. And this right here is the Shimmer pack. And we can go ahead and give this a listen here. Yeah, so we'll be taking a look at that. It's just loaded. And the other one we will be taking a look at is the new Cybersynth pack. And again, Rick Zaris produced both of these libraries, and we'll run through both of them the best we can. There's a ton of stuff to go through, but here's one of the demos for the Cybersynth pack.
While you were here.
And there's more. We've listened to some of these previously with Rick. So that is what we will be getting up to. I think what I'll do, since we won't really have Rick here, I think what we'll do is just start flipping through these and maybe even make something while we're doing it. So it looks like we've got the following categories: ambience effects, ambient pads, bass loops, construction kits, of which there are many, 20 of, drum loops and one-shot percussion, bunch of effects, guitar, synth, and vocals. All right, so, and I'm actually even in here, I believe. I haven't gone through this yet, but I believe my voice is in here. So let's flip through some of these and see what we find. Let's start with these bass. Man, he nailed that gritty, punchy, didn't he? All right, so some pretty hard thumping bass. Ambient pads. That's a nice one right there. Avon, how you doing? Welcome back to you. Man, this swarm one is great. All right, so these ambient pads are pretty nice. Lush, thick, edgy. Nice. Some good stuff in there. Yeah. These are great. These textures are awesome. Miguel, how the hell are you, man? Welcome back. Big love. Man. Saf, you're going to do a stream. When are you going to do that? Purple Pros, hello. Happy Friday to you. Man, you guys, these ambient effects are worth the price of admission. These are awesome. Big. Big. Saffron, what are you working on right now? What are you thinking about streaming about? And Guy, what kind of rock track are you working on? I saw you talking about triplets. Kick triplets. Oh man, I was super into double bass when it was first emerging as a young drummer, and I was quite young, and I didn't have a second kick pedal yet. So I sat down and I studied John Bonham, like relentlessly, kind of obsessively, and learned how to get the double and the triplet out of your toes. Oh man, sometimes my feet still kind of twitch that way just a little bit. And Saf, you're quitting caffeine and most sugar. You don't expect me. Welcome. Yeah, if you're looking for feedback, for sure, drop a link in the chat. Or if you don't have a link and you just want to send something through, email is holler@ohmlab.tv. Man, Rick spent some time on these atmospheres here. These are awesome. Yeah. You know, if Rick were sitting here with me, I'd be asking him if he was just sitting there daydreaming about what Cyberpunk, the game, was going to be and kind of scoring scenes in advance, right? Or maybe just obsessing over the teaser videos that were dropped ahead of the release, because these are very immersive. These are he was really feeling it. All right, so I've been reviewing stuff from Zaris for what, like I don't know, maybe 7 years now or something like that. I think he's been putting stuff out in this vein, and these are by far, I think this is some of his best ambience effects stuff. You don't expect me. Let's just dropped a little link here. Let's check this. Really? Seven Nation Army rework, huh? That was awesome. That was super funky. I was not expecting it. This is it's fun. It's fun. I want to listen through one more time in a couple spots. Really like the filtered intro here. It'd be cool to hear like a little delay feedback buildup going into this with like maybe a really thin, transparent, like reverse clap or something, or cymbal with clap layered as a like a little 1-bar riser right here. That'd be kind of cool. It'd be nice to hear like maybe a couple very subtle stutters in here too. I think it would really fit the vibe super well. And this image right here is totally the inspiration for that. Taking that time up behind my back, and I'm talking to myself at night because I can't forget. Back and forth through my mind behind a cigarette. Trying to stay low, but you stay high. Things looking better in hindsight. X on my chest, baby, God bless. 7 days, no rest, baby. Days, no rest, baby. It's just a great mashup. It's fun. Yeah, I don't have much for you in the whole second half of this. Stay low, but you stay high. Things looking better in. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Yeah, I'm agreeing with Paul here. A lot of elements, all very effective. It's well balanced. It's fun. Uh, Super catchy. Nice mashup. Absolutely. And I like this image here too. It's good. Yeah, this is fun. Good one. Thanks for the share, man. Um, so back into the cyber synth pack. Man, these ambient effects were just great. Let's come back to those construction kits here in just a little bit and check out some of these loops here. Easy way to sample all the drums at once. Super old school. So you don't expect me. Was that for a contest or just for fun? S on my chest. Hey, Avon, what are you working on these days, man? You said something funky, right? We talking like old school funk, something new electronic funky, somewhere in between? When I saw your email, instantly my mind went to Prince for some reason. Man. Yeah, he's feeling this genre. Yeah, I think he hit his stride with this one. This is just solid. Like liberal, but not overboard with the effects. Really nice and balanced, yeah. Nice. Yeah, okay. And I'm assuming he's got all of these in the, oh, then, and more probably. Yeah, it's got some good stuff. Lots of good textures. These effects here. Ooh, obscure 60s funk tunes. Nice. A dirtier sound. Awesome. Yeah, man, I'd love to hear some when you have some to share. I played funk for a lot of years, so always has a special spot in my heart. A little shepherd's tone action. Yeah, Paul, I was super into like everything Bill Laswell was doing and Maggot Brain, the whole Axiom universe, really. Subvids, how you doing, man? These shepherd tone style risers are cool. They feel very Christopher Nolan. Ooh, Bootzilla. Nice. Nice. I'm doing well, Subvids. Glad it's the weekend. Just about. Got a couple sessions after the stream, but after that, it's free and clear for a couple of days. And finally getting to flip through this Cybersynth pack, and then we'll jump into Shimmer. So it's a good day. That was awesome. That was great. These are fun. Yeah, he just played with this one, I think. You can kind of feel that fun experimental energy, you know, when you're just playing. That totally comes through in all of this. These are great. All right. Guitar loops. Oh, it's on. Those are just perfect. Oh man, the amount of clipping on these is just great. Oh, Paul, man. The pink trombone sample lives on. Ooh, Crystals and Echo Boy Filter Freak. That's a nice little lineup right there. Endless. Hours and hours of fun. Seth, you really do not like your job, do you? Oh, man. Corporate Stooge was your Clark Kent. I like that. Man, these are some edgy guitars. It's nice. Synth loops. All right. And a vocal category here.
Access denied. Backup complete.
These are great.
Breach. By your command. Corruption. CyberSynth 2033. Cyborg. Data transfer complete. Denied. Device detected. Download complete. Downloading. Enemy. Error 404. Error. Fuck the system. Hacking terminal. Implant complete. Initializing. Initiate implant. New World Order. System check. System online. System override. Terminal access granted. Terminal velocity. Transmitting data. Virus detected. Welcome to CyberSynth 2033.
Okay, those were good. He's got some male ones here.
Backup complete. Breach. By your command. Corruption. CyberSynth 2033. Cyborg.
And I believe these are all the same, actually.
Error 404. Fuck the system. System check. Complete.
Okay. Human phrases. I think these are actually all me. He actually reached out to me right before he released this, asking if I would do some. Addiction. Yeah, it is. Addiction. 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 So you can start building conversations and whatnot, voiceovers. Amped out. Amped out. Amped out. Amped out. Apogee. 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 Biochip. 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 By your command. 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 Do you really think the government gives a fuck about you? Look, do you really think the government gives a fuck about you? That's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. That is fucked up. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. All right, well, these just continue to go on. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What the fuck? 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 Yeah, anyone can get into voiceover work. All right, so those are the basics, and then there's these construction kits, of which there are 20. So you've got all the stems for those, MIDI for each. Golden. This is one heck of a pack. Like I said, it's just shy of 6 gigs. Yeah, it's nice to have that MIDI in there too, right? And sub out your own synths and stuff. A lot of good vocals, or those computer samples were great. Hey, Paul, that's a good idea. Maybe that'll be an upcoming community sound pack challenge. Is have us take on the world. Silent Science, yeah, absolutely. If you're looking for feedback on tracks or sounds that you're working on, happy to hit pause on this and spend some time on that. Lab West, hello, hello. Happy Friday to you. How are you? All right, so the next one we're jumping into is Shimmer. This is just barely shy of 22 gigs. It's going to take a little bit to work through. And we're going to circle back and revisit this one and the CyberSynth one again with Rick, with Saras, who's the producer of both of these, because there's a follow-up release with Kontakt instruments, which are going to be freaking fantastic. So, oh, dude, Paul. Oh, that just made me smile. That's great. So Silent Science says, this has been a huge project for me. Let's check it. I like the description here. 3 separate tracks, which, if listened to one after another, make this big-ass thing. Let's check it. Subfits, absolutely classic. All right, I guess we'll know him when we hear him, right, Sam? This logo is great, by the way.
And they dicked around on the Macintosh. They go, listen, get the drum sample.
Man, that's flipping art. I mean, honestly, Silent, it's fantastic. This is awesome. How long have you been working on this? Out of curiosity. I felt a little bit what Paul was pointing out there, just the space that was available for high end content there, high frequency content, but um, I also like the subdued, like it's obviously intentionally subdued at that point. It's got, I don't know, it's somewhere between it's like somewhere between a Thievery Corp and Portishead kind of filter. Uh, a gentle blanket, if you will, in that space. Maybe one thing you could play with um, is maybe grabbing like a square or pulse sub, like a few octaves down, and then filter out the actual sub, right? So now you're just hearing like the oscillation clicks and stuff. And maybe play around with that with something super, super subtle and simple, like maybe hysteresis from glitch machines or something like that, right? Just to spread it out and add a little pop and jitter. Um, yeah, it's not even really about brightening things. It's more about I think the holistic um, ethos or aesthetic. Well, no, the aesthetic that you've got brewing there is freaking on point. And if it was standalone without the bookends on either side, then I wouldn't say a thing because I really like that intentionally subdued. It's not obscured anyway. It's just holding back, right? But because you have so much um, brighter balance in the first and last segment, I would think that maybe something really, really subtle, just kind of like salt, just a tiny little bit of fairy dust in there or something. Yeah, Saf. And I've got to reach out to Evo and see if he wants to come play with us a bit and talk. I'm sure he'd love to chat it up with you guys. Yeah, I wouldn't I really wouldn't change this. I mean, 2 months. Yeah, so you've had plenty of time to add something in that space if you really wanted it. I don't think that I feel there's a big difference when providing feedback to people like creative or production tips for people that are producing something that's rather predictable and expected versus something that's much more highly artistic. And this is obviously um, something that's pouring out of you. So I would hesitate to like steer you in uh, a direction at all. Honestly, on this one, this was fun to listen to, and thank you for sharing. It's great. Where are you with this in regards to um, your feeling of its level of completeness? Um, Dub3, thank you for the follow. And Silent, if you sub, you can still go grab all of the free sound packs from the holiday madness that happened over on the Discord. Well, the madness happened here, but the files are on the Discord. Yeah, what up? Happy Friday, Dub3. I like the name Silent Silence as well. Avon, I've missed you, homie. I hope you've been well. Nice, guy. Nice. Um, is that why you're working on the rock project, guy? Through the new collab platform? I was just going up and reading some of the chat that I had missed, and I saw Saf saying, "Oh man, I bitch about my job here on this channel," and then I scroll down, and Avon is like, "Quit your job." Oh man, in the midst of a pandemic, I hate to urge people to like just quit their job, um, but man, if it brings you misery, um, I don't know. Obviously, you got to survive. So silent. Yeah, I like I was saying, I would really hesitate to actually provide any kind of like creative direction on this because I feel that this is art, um, which makes it precious. But I will say that it's really refreshing um, to see people in this space specifically um, working so hard to make a contiguous listening experience and actually identifying each element as its own standalone track, but obviously meant to be played through in sequence. I really appreciate that. So thank you. Yeah, Silent, absolutely drop a link when it's done. I'm sure a lot of people would like to check it out here. Nice attitude, guy. Are you still keeping up with your constant production goals so far with the new year? And have you been streaming? Dub 3, it's the Rode Podcaster. I guess it might be a bit of a legacy at this point because I've had it for years. Um, yeah, dude, Avon, we got to catch up at some point. Absolutely. I hope you had fantastic holiday downtime. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad it's coming through nice and clear. Whoa, Saf, I didn't know you got a concussion at your job, dude. And Avon, I agree. Working is overrated. I think accomplishing things is much more what we're supposed to be doing. And I think we're gonna get there soon, right? With all the tech that's gonna dominate in the next few years. I think that it's gonna be hard to argue with being able to push a button and get whatever you want. I think a lot of people are going to be losing a lot of jobs and a lot of clients. So we're going to have a lot of time to make music and stuff. Rode is great, Dub. Just as a little side note, not to like push their brand or anything, but they make really good stuff across the board. It's not just the in-studio stuff either. They make some really, really great stuff. And they're just a high quality company with decent humans. Anyway, for what it's worth. First ribbon, Mike, Silent. Which one was it? Nice, nice. Yeah, a good mic is awesome. Purpose-based economy. Yeah, I'm there with you, Dub. I'm there with you. Silent. Doesn't matter if it's a crappy one. If you love it, you're going to get more out of it. The Rat. Ooh, I like that nickname for a mic. All right, I'm going to scroll up and I'm going to grab this link from Dub3 and I'm going to close down this page here. Silent, thanks again for sharing this one because it was a quality listen. And this is a new one from Dub3. What are we working on here? Is this just feedback on track or... Yeah, it looks like it. About 3 minutes. And then we're going to jump back into Shimmer and check out more of what Rick has been working on. Looking to add vocals. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is pretty solid. The leads seem a little hot at points, a little driven for the kind of mood that's being aimed for here. I'm kind of wondering about the sub being so omnipresent and whether it would be, I feel it would be more dramatic and have more emotional impact overall if you pick the spots where you really wanted to add just the right? And let the sub kind of fade in and swell in a couple of places rather than it just being this kind of constant thing. Still having that low bed in there is nice, but maybe just using the sub to kind of reinforce the emotional ebb and flow, I guess. And at points, I was thinking that perhaps the noise that you've got going in here, which is quite nice actually, could be creamed out a bit in a few different spots, just to add a little bit of dynamic range in your sound palette, right? It's got a really nice, smooth evolution in a whole bunch of areas, but I think with the sub and maybe the noise, the two extremes of your frequency range might be good to just add a little bit of variation in there. But this is nice. It's a good sound palette. Like I said, it's solid. How long you been working on this? And yes, I would agree. Some vocals. In fact, the pack that we're about to be reviewing, Shimmer, about 2 weeks. Okay, cool. This one right here, this style of vocal performance would actually work really well with a song like this, ironically. It also might be cool just to create a small vacuum here at the end of this break. Where you stop for like I don't know, maybe even just as small as like a quarter note or something, right? But where everything, even the reverb tail, just kind of gets sucked in and then this kind of expansive return. I feel like this type of music where you're blending the chill and the kind of new age ambient and whatnot together, it's cool to play with the different ways in which you can, work through tension, build, and release. Like I was saying in the one from who was it? It wasn't Silent. It was right before Silent. Oh, you don't expect me. About just adding a super super subtle little stutter on one or two notes. Maybe just dropping out everything, including the reverb, for like a quarter note would be a really nice little pause. Yeah, I think that's it. Collie, thanks for the follow. Yeah, yeah, that's really it. Is the breath, like the breath or the life force of this thing. There are a couple of things that are a little bit too omnipresent for the flow of the rest of it, right? For it to feel fully, truly alive and balanced, I think you should take a look at the sub and the noise. And it doesn't have to be an elimination of sub or noise, just altering them in some way. Yeah, definitely. I'm feeling that rhythm too, Avon, for sure. You bet, Dub. Collie, yeah, drop a link in chat and be patient. We're about to swing back and check out Shimmer here. Going Music, thank you. Thank you for the follow. This is the other new one from Zaris and Ghost Hack. So the first one we did was Cybersynth. If you're just joining, circle back and check that out because it was a ton of fun to go through and seriously high quality stuff. This one, however, is 22 gigs of just, in fact, we'll just play this quick little 50-second demo here. Yeah, so 22 gigs of just awesome, and there's no better way to get into it than to just do it. So that's what we're going to do. Vocal effects, I'm sure that's probably what you were hearing there, the non-articulated stuff. There are a lot of phrases and translations in here, and this is one thing that I will forever love about Rick and everything that he does, is that he gives you the ability to work on this stuff yourself, right? So there's a dry and wet of everything, and there's also a Gaelic or an Elven and English translation of each thing.
Mi memel anierna bule. Mi memel anierna bule. My love for the ocean. My love for the ocean. I montan rokoivnade. I montan rokoivnade. The mountains above life is where my heart resides. The mountains above life is where my heart resides.
Man, there's just a ton of these things, right? There's like 20 of these packs. There's 20 different construction kits, 31 ambient beds, instrumental kits. There's 15 of mood effects. There's 50 different kits. So it's got the full mix and the stems of each thing in each one of these categories. So yeah, it's Shimmer, GUI music. Just so nice of him to separate these things out. And unmixed at that, right? Obviously, they're mixed here, but unmixed as individual stems here. It's just nice to see the level of commitment here. Lovely. He has made some people's jobs very easy. I can think of probably 0 people in the sync world that wouldn't find good use of this. These are great. It's Gaelic that she's speaking. Oof, man. There's also these orchestral elements. You know, the last couple times that we've had Zaris on the show, he's talked a bit about how he feels like he's kind of found his stride, and I would agree that the Cyber Pack and this pack are just, they're at a different level. They're really flipping great. I mean, his other stuff is great too, but he's had a, I don't know, a bit of a level up with these two in some way. Gameplay, thank you so much for the follow and welcome. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There we go. Oh, man. I'll tell you what, I cannot wait for the contact instruments for these. Vocal effects. $50 of them. Whoa. Sorry, my bad. Reaching for my coffee here. Very nice, Jumbe. I agree. You know what it is? It's the level of like attention to detail in all the layering, and it seems like there's more layering in the Cybersynth and the Shimmer pack than in some of the previous stuff from them, perhaps. Hello. Wow. Nice. Sounds like he's playing around with the contact instrument on these. You love when I say flippin'. Even. I will change for no one. It's funny. It's come up in conversation many times. I was born at just the right time. There are some things that I will probably never stop saying, like flippin' and yo and homie and dope. Lush. Oh, and Avon, I just realized that I read that that post in the chat about a concussion backwards. I thought it was Saf posting it. It was you telling Saf that you got a concussion. You okay, man? How the hell did that happen? These effects are awesome. Man, the big downside of these epic double review days is that we don't get to create as much. So maybe we should start tossing some of this stuff into some samplers and see what we can hack up. Before we do that, let's click on a couple of links. Kali, are you still here? And are you ready for some feedback? Because if you are up. And if you are not still here, then we will move on to Goey. Assuming that Kali is still here. Go ahead and get this lined up here. It's the second eyes logo that we've seen today. All right, going once, going twice. Kali, we can circle back to you if we don't see you hop up in the chat here in just a second. Otherwise, we'll move on. And we'll hit Goey music. Am I saying that correct? And this is a work in progress UK baseline. All right. Oh, dude, a box of fucking frozen shrimp burgers. How heavy was it? Is it Gowie? Oh, and Kali is here. Okay, Gowie. All right, I will remember that. A case, as in like a 50-pound case, Avon? Because, ugh, dude, I'm glad you're okay. Cool. Yeah, I can remember that, Gowie. Okay. All right, so we'll hit yours in just a sec. Kali is here. 20 pounds. Man. Seriously. Ouch. Oh, all right. Well, since we're here, Gowie, here we go.
Insert the epic build here. Right here. Like somewhere around here. Brilliant.
Nice. All right, first question. What synth are you making your UK bass in? Made it in Serum. Okay. I'm thinking, it's obviously, like you said, it's a work in progress. I'm thinking that you've got a decent bass, but it falls a little flat in a couple places, and I'm thinking multi-band compression, splitting stuff out into individual channels and just treating, 3 main bands separately, so you can really emphasize the sub and those highs and move the mids around a little bit. Paul, you can send your requests to holler at OhmLab TV and see what you get back. But Cowie, there are a couple things that you can play with. You can play with putting a little bit of a chorus effect on the mids, because once you have your bands isolated, you can kind of play a bit more freely with your processing. One thing I would do though, in however you do choose to parse this up and process it, putting a very small, very transparent reverb bubble around this thing and then saturating that is probably going to take your whole thing up a level, because it's going to add a sense of like roundness or like spherical um, uh, uh, what's the right word, fullness to that bass, and it would really fill up the entire track, because I just feel like it's a little thin. So you've got high, mid, low, low, and sub channels at the moment. Yeah, so I just play a bit more freely with those and call a bit more attention to the sub with just a subtle amount of saturation. Don't go crazy. In your mids, you can play with a couple of things like a chorus or um, phase modulation. Um, And then in your highs, just a touch of bit crush perhaps, at a really low percentage, just to add a little bit of shine before you send it through a small reverb, and then just make that little reverb bubble sizzle with some saturation. Um, but yeah, I would agree with sub right here that there's really good energy in here, and it's definitely worth chasing down. This is a good one. Um, do you have massive, Gowie? You did not anymore. Okay. Okay. It's pretty choice for the UK bass as well. And the reason why I bring this up, I mean, you can accomplish the same things with Serum, obviously. But one thing that Serum has working against it for this type of sound specifically is that it's so visual, and it's really hard to not follow your eyeballs lead. Right? Your eyes are interacting with your brain in a very different way than your ears are. And when you're forced to only use your ears, you're going to find sweet spots in sounds like UK bass that you're not going to find with your eyeballs. Um, and I know it sounds like a analog preach or something, but it's really not. It's more just about hearing the movement and hearing the different effects of the FM and the phase modulation and the ring modulation if you're using it, right? Um, yeah, it's a bit, yeah, yeah, it can be. It really can be. But when you take your eyes out of the mix, it becomes easier. The other thing is, I would say don't spend too much time trying to find the right sound through processing. Um, if you're spending a lot of time on it, then it may not be synthesized in the way that's going to get you there. Starting with a simpler sound. Maybe we need to do a stream on that specific type of bass design to help people get there, because there are some formulas in all of it. But yeah, those would be my tips there. The rest is good, and it's got a good vibe. And good energy, as Subvids points out. But feel free to circle back with this at the next stage and let us know how it's gone. Yeah, I agree, Subvids. Absolutely. I like that slight level of wonk across the board in UK. Yeah, no, simplicity reigns, and less is always more, always more in the initial synthesis efforts with sounds like this. You really have to keep it really quite simple. Yeah, try taking your eyes off the screen as much as possible when you're working with it. One way that you can do that is spend 15 minutes mapping stuff to knobs, memorizing where those are on your MIDI controller, and try to make the bulk of your sound design decisions with just your keyboard and not even looking over at the screen, and see how that works out for you. Yeah. A balance of ring mod and FM is also a good good thing. Avon agrees. Yes, yes, yes. Less equals more. All right, so on to the next. So, Collie, you are up. And away we go. I like the logo on this one too. Oh. Yeah. Nice little triplet there. Tiki! Yes, purple. Oh. All right, Collie, what are you using to produce? What's your DAW? And this is quite tasty. This is dope. This is why we have the word dope. Ableton, excellent. One thing I would say right out the gates is that I think that the kick can come down a couple of dB, or just reduce the maximizing in general. If you've sent this through something like loudness penalty, you can see exactly how much it would be reduced in decibel level on any streaming platform. And it kind of gives you a benchmark of how loud you might want certain things. I really like the distance between your peaks and valleys here, but I think the whole thing would probably sound better if it had just a little less push behind it. It's just a tiny bit it's just pushed a little bit hard there. That said, there is not much to pick apart in the actual production work here. This is solid. Yeah, second half does sound reverse. There's a lot of fun stuff happening in there. So this whole first half is it's pretty freaking pristine at this point. How long have you spent on this? And Tiki, by the way, welcome back. Good to see you. Good to see you. She make me feel all fuzzy inside this logo. You won't get nowhere nearer if you broke though. Okay, so in here, and this is the bulk of why I bring up the kick drum thing, is because it'd be nice to be able to hear the bass in there just a little bit more than we're able to. And there's actually a solution for this. And it's not gonna like force you to change anything in your productions if you pursue it. So um, at the end of your processing chain for that bass, you toss a very simple like overdrive unit on it. And I'm talking like just a basic overdrive. And you really don't even need to add drive to this. I mean, obviously your bass is heavy enough. And the other thing that's causing the conflict here is just loudness between the kick and the bass. So if you, again, it's the maximization thing. So if you target that bass way up high, and I'm guessing just listening to it that it's probably going to be somewhere between, say, 5K and 8K is going to be the sweet spot in there. I'd probably start somewhere around here ish. And I'd maybe add like a quarter or a half dB to it, and that's it. So you're actually not adding much at all. But what it's doing is it's going to force harmonics to appear in your waveform higher up in the register. And I think that's going to behoove this at some point. So, yeah, and I was wondering if there was some MF Doom in there. Peace out to MF Doom. And I have the same question as Tiki. I'm kind of wondering if maybe you're using like a shaper box, and if you're not, I think that this is an ideal situation for shaper box. And it can actually help you avoid some of the conflict that you run into with bass and kicks when reversing. But I do feel there needs to be a slightly greater distance between your kick and your bass so you can actually feel those elements a little bit more individually, and just perhaps targeting a higher frequency with an overdrive would do it for you. Nice catch, Avon. Is an MF Doom. Yeah, I think the synth in the 808 is dope. Ava's just coming right out and calling it. Best of all time. Hello, sir. Yeah, yeah, it's not really about the saturation so much as it is the agitation with something like this. Because if you go in there and you actively like, with the mindset of saturation, you go in there and you're going to create a bit more energy overall. And that's not really what you want. What you really want is to insert new energy above the focal point in the frequency range. So you're not inflating it anymore where there already is conflict or obfuscation or competition, right? It's like, it's not truly in conflict. It's not, they're not being masked. It's just that they're so close together, really is what it is. Yeah. So for what it's worth, I would try to find that separation that way. And maybe just bring down the kick before it even goes through a maximization process, if you're even using one at this point. And if you're not, then go back and start taking compressors off of everything. Like, unless it's providing some sort of ducking or something like that, or it's for a fully sound design purpose, right? Like bringing up particulate matter in a very timid sound or something like that. Just take off all the compressors and see exactly what it's feeling like and what it's sounding like. Because if there is compression happening on that bass, for instance, just take it off. You really don't even need it. It's already a big bass. Maximization is going to bring all that stuff up anyway later. And then the same with the kick too. So it could just be an initial balance thing. Where when you're getting up in the LUFs early in the process, regardless of what the dBs tell you in your meters, if your LUFs are high going in to any other process that's going to introduce even more loudness, it just adds up too quickly. Oh, Antique's dropping a link here. Ah, Kintaro. Yeah, if you're yeah, those look nice, huh? That LFO sketch is great. That's awesome. These are all Ableton. Oh man, that just nails it. Okay, I think that's the quote of the day right there. Avon nails it. Doom was the wise wizard uncle we all loved. I always thought of Doom as kind of like almost like the Buckethead of the hip hop world. Like, here's this cat that steps on the scene, and he's got so much just raw talent, like just a true conduit, like an absolute conduit that also just happens to be some kind of a prodigy. Uh, and he doesn't even care about the personal fame aspect, and to the point that he just takes his face out of it entirely. And I think that that's just wonderful, man. Yeah, we lost a good one. Collie, this was tasty. This was a good one. Thank you for the treat. Thank you for sharing. I do appreciate it. All right, so we're going to jump back into Shimmer, and I think we're probably going to just start messing around with some sounds here for a bit. But first, I need some coffee for that to happen. So I'm going to put you guys on hold music for a minute while I go and do that. If you haven't already done it, hit the sub button now and go grab all those free sound packs on the Discord server right now. It was part of our holiday year-end awesomeness. Zank, or Zank does things. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. But anyway, if you hit the sub button, not only do you get priority with reviews and blah, 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 and all sorts of kickbacks and whatnot, but there are a bunch of sound packs that you can just go grab for free right now. A couple of them, a few of them are official OhmLab releases, which I just tossed out there for you guys just because I love you. And the other are community sound packs that we've created. And there's also some unreleased stuff in there, so you can get your hands on it before other people. But anyway, it's a ridiculously stupid value. Yeah, and you can download those while I'm going and getting my coffee. I'll be right back, kitty cats. And I'm back. Coffee in hand. All right, so where were we? Oh, yes. Back to Shimmer. Where did we leave off? Oh, yes, we were in the vocal effects, which were all great. Yeah, these are good. These are fun. Okay, so I know we didn't actually go through all of the different orchestral stuff. Yeah, I bet these will probably all work out well inside of samplers. And I bet these vocals are going to stand up to all sorts of granular goodness. Um, let's see what we get through all of the percussion mood effects. We briefly glanced at those. The instrumental kits. So it looks like we've got the stems, accompanying MIDI, and a full mix of each. And these are all just the instrumentals. If we look at the full construction kits, this must have some vocals too. Yep. So he's got a lot of vocals kind of stashed throughout this entire library here. The ad-lib stuff is always the gold. Right? Because it's so non-specific, you can use it in anything. You know, in fact, maybe some of these vocals is exactly what I need for something that I'm working on right now. So maybe we'll actually open up an existing project and work on it a bit with these. Anybody have links sitting in the chat that I've missed for feedback? That is still waiting for feedback? If not, then we may just move on and do that. Nice, Paul. Yeah, it's nice to have some vocals in there, isn't it? Man, it sure is nice to have some good vibes in the chat and bright sunshine outside. Last couple of days have been, oh man, jeez. On Wednesday, after everything started to calm down, after the Capitol was stormed and all of that, the local police here in my town shot and killed a guy right on the corner of our street, and there have been protests, and they sacked the police station last night, and man, it is just everywhere right now. So it's nice to have just some seriously chill vibes for a bit. Oh, nice, Paul. You're digging into the Gemini pack. Yeah, it is a great collection. I had a lot of fun going through that. It was hours of recordings, of NASA recordings that I listened through and like scraped all the best little bits out of. It was a fun project. There's so much here. With 22 gigs of stuff, you know you're leaving stuff behind when you're clicking through this quickly. I'll tell you what, though, as soon as the, because there's going to be a companion release to both this and the CyberSynth, it's a collection of kontakt instruments. And when that happens, we'll get Zaros back in here again. And we will revisit all of these things. But they're going to be in a more playable form, which is fantastic. You know, speaking of the relax, everything's going to be fine. Did you hear the track that that Zev and I produced together a week ago or so, with all the Gemini samples in there? Some good stuff. That's the big release, that sample right there. Relax, everything's going to be fine. It's like the big, all right, dangers past moment. Are these made with analog synths? Yeah. Saf, Rick has some nice stuff. I bet a lot of this came out of the Juno. We'll definitely pick his brain when we get him back in here when the next round of stuff drops for both of these, the Cybersynth and the Shimmer. Let's, I guess I can just maybe just keep this open off to the side. Can I do that? Can I? I know what I can do. Let's see here. I'm going to have to bounce some stuff to audio, so you guys are just going to have to bear with me for a minute when I open this up. And this is something that has not been fully mixed. Yeah, Subvids, I can play that piece for you. Speaking of the Gemini pack, for those of you who aren't sure what we're talking about here, if you jump over to the OhmLab website and scroll down a bit on the sounds page, you will find Gemini 8. It is it's a collection of 75. I whittled it down to 75, what I felt were essential dialogue samples from one of the more tense and dramatic moments in our space history back in '66. Anyway, Zev, the one and only Zev, and I made a little something with it. This is a pre-master, so it might be a little flat. And this track has a whole bunch of stuff from that pack.
That would be 1390 and temperature 48.8. What the speed is normal. Flight we had LOS, all systems and launch boards about the same time.
Capcom, have you any indications of acquisition yet? Okay, do you want to start attempting to contact them by voice?
Roger.
Thank you. I try to do my best.
Copy. Delay at approximately 2 more minutes of acquisition. Do you have anything further planned? Hello, Hawaii, Gemini 8. I'll say again on B, please. 1550. Copy.
Andremia! How the heck are ya? Welcome back. Always good to have you here.
Gemini 8, Hawaii. Go ahead.
I'm doing all right, Andremia. It's Friday and it's almost the weekend. Yeah, it's super clean. I might add a little bit of grit when I master it. Yeah, you're already there, aren't you, Drumia? Nice. Cheers. It's been a long time since I've produced something this clean and electronic with someone. It was fast.
We've lost contact with the spacecraft, Mike.
This other thing that we'll jump into here in a minute is also a collab with Zev.
Mike, this is the
But I drove a lot of it.
valid data here. You can see the pretty promise.
So lots and lots of textures and stuff.
Flight, we've had LOS, all systems and lots of words about the same time. We're showing an open source pressure of 1.39.
What just happened there? What just happened there? Well, anyway, it kind of goes on like that for a bit. So that was a good use of a lot of the Gemini samples right there. But what I'm thinking is jumping into this current project here and maybe using some of those shimmer samples to fill the gaps, because I was thinking that this could use a bit more in the vocal department than it already has, and I believe that Zev is of the same mind there. So I'm gonna... Oh, subvids. The secret is less is more, and take compression off of everything. Like if you, I mean, even on a big project like this one, which I'll play here in a second, you'll notice that there's just no compression on anything. That's not true. There is compression on like two things in here. It's just to bring up some needly bits on one thing and to add a little bit of ducking on another thing. But there's really no compression. But yeah, just keeping it simple. And then also just spending a little bit of time dialing in the right pre-delay on all the reverbs and, you know, deviating from the standard timing of delays, that type of thing. Yeah, of course I do, Sav. Of course I do. They'd come for me if I didn't. Absolutely. Yeah, right, subvids? I have no idea what we're going to end up doing with these, but I don't know. I think we both felt the same thing about that first one, the Gemini. It came together quickly. It was fun, and it sounded all right when it was done. And that it was worth chasing more, and then the second one was even more unique. So we'll see where it goes. But you guys are going to have to bear with me here for a minute because I'm going to have to bounce a couple of things to audio in here. I'm sure of it. So let's hit playback and see what happens. The combination of Streamlabs and a big project full of MIDI. We both like textures and space and analog bits. So this is a fun one. Thank you, Subvids. Paul. All right, so maybe I don't have to bounce anything to audio quite yet in it. I want to find some vocals in here, though. Those are kind of spicy. Those a little spicy on your end there? Oh, thank you, guys.
Take me arloke mi over.
All right, what I want is something unique, ad lib, and it kind of fits this current vocal. I can obviously just go back to the same vocals and use that, but I'm thinking it'd be kind of fun to hide a little Easter egg in here from Rick's output. Oh, that's an interesting one. Yeah, I can't wait for the kontakt.
Ar darn o dir, yng nghalon yn gweidi. I gael ti nôl.
Yeah, man, Vocaloid for sure, right? Dude, Avon, it'd be great to just dedicate a whole stream to something like Sophie. There's only a couple of drawbacks. One, you get muted by Twitch. Even if Sophie came on and did this, Sophie would be muted by Twitch. And then there's this process that you go through where you appeal to their decision, and who knows how long it'll take. So the people that are watching it live sometimes make it all the way through a stream. And they can actually hear it. But anybody that's joining after or watching or trying to watch in a VOD or whatever is just, it's just straight up muted. And then when you export it over to YouTube, it's flagged upon import. So everything around all of the DMCA stuff on Twitch is just ridiculous. I would be willing to do those things on my site, though. There will soon be some streams that are multi-streams to a few different platforms, which Twitch actually does not allow for their affiliates. So it is what it is. So those may actually be Twitch less. I'm not sure. Still trying to make up my mind about that. But I do like the idea of dedicating an entire stream to just an artist. Absolutely. And I mean, come on, Sophie. The obvious choice. If there are folks out there that are not familiar with Sophie, which I'm sure a lot of you are not, go check it out. It's wild and fantastic. If you are prone to seizures, just listen and don't watch the videos.
Rwy'n hiraethu am adrau. Rwy dy eisiau yn ôl.
I want those ad libs. Those are in here. Where are they? Was I just lucky and I clicked on a couple? And there were ad libs sitting in there? I don't know if I would call Sophie punk, but I don't know. It's so utterly processed and polished, and it's just precision. It's just, everything is so very, very precise. And it's its own thing too. Yeah, otherworldly is a good way to put it. You know, it's like it's on par with the amount of time and effort put into the processing of something like the Cohen sound or something like that, where every last little millisecond of everything matters. And man, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I guess that is true. The attitude in your face. It's a bit more of a diva energy um uh than it is like a you know, Sex Pistols energy or anything like that, obviously, but yeah. Oh, here's the ad-libs. This is where I was before. Oh, the Cohen sound, Koan. Uh, Cohen, as in like the Buddhist. It's they do like glitch hoppy type of stuff, but they're notorious for the actual sound design of it all. And it's not fair to just toss that out and say, oh, it's kind of glitch hoppy. They do everything from jazz to kind of metal and everything in between, and they mix it all into this kind of glitch hop package. And they've done this for years, and they're giants. They're just giants. But everything that they do is meticulously um, in line with their vision, and I feel like that's exactly what Sophie is. There's a vision, and you do not stop until you get right down to the. Everything is just super exact. Everything is super super sharp. It's impressive. And daring choices too. Daring sound design choices. I love it. That one could. Okay, so it's at about half the BPM. What? Sounds the same forward as backward. Oh, let's see here. I had some notes. There we go. All right, so 111 vocals, 105. Okay, where are we here? 105. 105 at the beginning of this break, and 111 is just after. All right, so let's. So be right in here. You know, let's do this. Let's bring this into alchemy, of all things, and let's just do a regular. So that was brought in as a C minor. reinforce it, I'm going to go back to the vocals that I was using. It's just going to take a little bit of effort, and I don't think that the effort is going to be worth the output to make those work together. But I am feeling these ad-libs, and I think that they would be a lot of fun to play with inside of Absinthe.
Come home.
The initial theme of this one, because I try to have a theme while I'm working just to keep me on my game, was isolation. It was originally about some sort of like catharsis around the, just being locked indoors for a year. Andy Stott.
Come home. Come home.
So Come Home might actually be kind of cool.
Come home.
Maybe. Maybe. We'll give it a shot.
Come home.
But if it's going to be in there, it's got to... Obviously, the timing's got to be right, too. It can't be as simple as that.
Come home. Come home.
Warrior, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Hope I got the name somewhat close in there. Set up side chaining and explain it. Yeah, exactly. I could do that. And while we're about to do that, I can talk through this. This is the same exact concept. I was just about to set up a little noise gate on this and only allow something through while the signal is being sent through from another channel. And this is a similar kind of a concept. So the first thing you need to wrap your head around is the fact that sidechaining just means that you might be processing one thing, but it's a signal from a different element in the mix that's actually affecting how that bit gets processed. So let's find something that's present in this mix. Clockwork Foley would be interesting. So let's pull that up. And that is right here. So now, if I play back these vocals and we can solo it, we're still going to get this kind of choppy effect. We'll dig into the ducking here in a bit.
Come home. Come home. Come home. Home. Come home.
All right, just so it gets a little bit of a glitchy kind of a thing there. Now let's just do two more things, a little bit of tape. This tape can be very simple. We can even start it on a quarter. That's fine by me. We'll smooth it a bit, bring down the clip and spread it. Take out the lows, leave the highs. Add a touch of feedback so it can drift a bit. Add a bit of flutter intensity. Okay. Subtle pedal. Ever so subtle pedal. How about some cotton candy style fuzz? Bring down the drive, bring down the level. Put a mixer on here so we can just eke out just a touch. Okay, now let's reverb that. Boom, boom, boom. Let's give it a long one, a haul, and let's do something totally different than all the other reverbs in this track. All right, let's set our pre-delay. Ish. Come on now. Thank you. Bring in our lows. Don't be a savage. EQ your verb. Don't let your top shine too much. Nate! Warrior, yes. Go ahead and drop a link in the chat and be patient. I muted this, but I'll give you the I'll give you the hotkey for that one. Don't be a savage. EQ your reverb. All right, where was I? Way over here. Let's see what this sounds like in the mix here. Happy New Year, Nate. Hope you're doing well. All right, so let's filter that. And bring it way down. So we'll just give it a little and an LFO. Let's bring this down maybe a couple bars. Let's toss the phase out and a little pre-filter distortion. Spice it up just a little bit. Okay. And lastly, we'll just obscure it with a really long band. Voila and voila. Let's see if that actually rides. What's the plugin? Was it this one right here, Saf? If that's the one you're inquiring about, that is the auto filter inside of Logic. It just allows you to quickly connect envelope and or filter to filter cutoff. And it's got a couple of different saturation options in here. It's handy. It is handy. Yeah, it's choice. Absolutely. I would agree. Oh, thank you, Nate. Okay, so this would actually obviously need to land this riser if that's actually going to make any sense. Okay, so this should hit right before the second riser starts popping. Oh, and of course it's being triggered by the clockwork Foley here, so we gotta line that up a little bit differently. Well, I'll play around with that for a bit. Since I'm going to have to boogie here in a little bit for afternoon sessions, what I'm going to do is I'll just save this, bounce out of it, and then I'm going to show you guys the sidechain thing that, subvids? Is that you asking about that? Yep, subvids. All right, so what we'll do, we'll just make this super easy. I'm just going to grab a loop from in here, and we'll just say we need a beat. Okay, this one will work. It's just got a steady beat. That's all we need. Next is we just need something to go over the top of that. So let's find a little pad. Too much work. Let's make one. Oops. All right, so we've got a pad somewhere. Let's do a sure, okay. So we'll have a little beat. Okay, so now we've got a pad. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a compressor on here. And then in the sidechain input, we're going to grab our beat. The next thing we're going to do is obviously turn off auto gain. You can leave your auto release on if you really want to, but I would personally tighten it up as much as possible. Set a knee to not 0, but as close to 0 as possible. Same on your attack. You do not want 0. It will create a click, and you don't want 1 on your attack, maybe like a 2 milliseconds or above. No makeup gain. And your ratio is going to be pretty fluid. You're going to watch your threshold because the conversation that the compressor has with you every single time you're sending sound through it says, hey, what do you want me to do? And you say, turn down the signal that comes through. It says, when would you like me to do that? Well, that's your threshold, right? So let's say anything that meets 10 dB. Let's see what this sounds like here, or it looks like. This one is sending through at, let's go here. That's about a 5 dB reduction. So you can see that the compressor is loaded here on this pad. It's the kick, though, that is triggering it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our sidechain here. We're going to flip to listen, and we're just going to listen for a frequency of just the kick drum. So we're not actually ducking it with all the little bits in there, the perks and stuff. So this right now is basically just the kick coming through on this. So it's only responding to the kick. Which is exactly what we want. So then we turn this on. So now it's filtering out the entire signal except for the kick, or the element that you want to duck or trigger the ducking through this compressor. Next is to set up just exactly how much it's ducking. So once you find your threshold position, your ratio, as you increase it, it will increase the level of ducking, which is the reduction of the amplitude. Now, compressor type varies a lot, and it has a serious impact on the action of the actual ducking. So try different circuit modeling and compressor type if you're not getting what you want initially. Hey, thanks for the high five, Nate. Psh, right back at you. Nice quick synopsis there, Paul. Self-oscillating so you can get feedback, which is nice. So anyway, I hope that helps with the sidechaining question. If it didn't answer all your questions, you can holler another one out. I'm going to scroll up and find this link that Warrior dropped. Are you still here, Warrior? Oh, we got a bunch of lurkers here still. Where is that link? There it is. All right, so this is a, what? What is this? What is this link here? Everybody with their spam. Yeah, opinion filter is so much fun. Absolutely. Absolutely. You bet, Sub. Did it answer your questions? There's a lot you can do with sidechain. It's certainly not just for ducking volume through compressors. We can spend quite a bit of time with it. You can use them to open and close gates or to duck or other things as well. And it's not just compressors or gates that allow a sidechain input. There's a lot of really cool mixing maneuvers that involve sidechaining, like maintaining really nice and clean signals while also maintaining really lush and dense delay and reverb tails. There's lots of really cool things you can do with it. Well, if you're putting a signal through a compressor simply attenuates volume of a signal that's coming through it if it meets or surpasses a threshold. That's all it does. The gain knob adds back volume that you've taken away if you want to increase the noise floor to hear more subtle bits of the audio that weren't as easily heard before. So all you're doing now is asking the compressor to, instead of compress the audio after listening to that audio signal, you're going to compress that audio signal, but based upon the signal that's coming in from a different track. And yeah, exactly. As Paul says, this was simply a compressor. If you can imagine, before this, there had to be a Johnny on the spot in the studio. That was someone that would say you've got a really angelic vocal performance happening in the vocal booth. And there's a person that's writing that fader as much as possible to maintain some sort of balance in a mix or whatever, right? And protect the dynamics and all of that as well, right? Because you're going to have standout peaks in a really dynamic performance. So you've got to have someone there. So this just simply automates the moving of the faders. So if you can imagine, it's just like pointing at Johnny on the spot every time the kick drum hits in the mix, and he goes, oh, okay, whoosh, drops the volume and brings it back up, right? So yeah, that's why I have a problem with just saying sidechain, because it just leaves the impression that the idea of a sidechain is only for compressors and it's only for ducking volume, when it's really not. There's so many other things you can do with it. Yep. All right, so here goes this one from Oria. Already lovely.
Hey, nice balance.
Nice balance. Yeah, Godfather, I knew it. All right, Nate's got a whip. We will listen to it. And then we'll wrap this up. We're closing the gates for feedback. Nice vocal chop. I tamed some of the highs in that reverb. Okay, so a couple of things I'd touch on here. One is that the verb seems like it could be EQ'd just a bit more. Take out the lows and the highs, and leave the mids. If you're unsure of where to start on something that's highly resonant like that vocal chop, start with like the Abbey Road standard, which is like 600 cut low, 6K cut high, and then move them in and out from there to find your sweet spots. But since it already has so much resonant quality to it in the original signal, putting that in again in the reverb is just going to lead to pain points once this thing gets mastered. So I would kill that now. And I would also go in and just kind of surgically remove a few resonant peaks before it ends up going through the reverb initially. Maybe just a touch of saturation on the sub, like target maybe 65 hertz or something like that, and just a tiny itty bitty little smidge of some gentle saturation just to bring up a couple of harmonics in that range. It'll just help it sit. Maybe tame the mids on the keys just a little bit. I feel like it's pushing up against those vocals and kind of inflating the mid lows in the vocals. And there's a field recording, it seems, buried in there. I'd bring that up. And I would add a bit of an atmospheric element to the entire mix. It would kind of enhance the kind of dusty aesthetic that you're aiming for initially here, right? And it would just kind of bolster the kind of open quality. Right. No reason to include a field recording if you're not really going to take advantage of it to set a mood and a place for something to exist in or alongside. So I'd bring that up a bit and I'd kill whatever low end frequency there is in that. And I'd layer in an artificial atmospheric element up top. So those two things, like, so the birds that you're hearing aren't just sitting there. In empty space, there's actually something there holding that space for them, but the noise floor is completely eliminated. And then join those two in a reverb, so it actually sounds like it's a real environment. Warrior, we'll probably have to hold on the second one just because I'm running into sessions right after this, and Frenty. You'll have to hold too. We'll be back on Monday, so you guys can circle back and always ask for feedback on Monday. It doesn't have to be during a feedback stream. And before I jump into Nate's, I would like to just give a quick shout again to Zaris for kicking out some serious output on these. The CyberSynth sound pack and the Shimmer ethereal vocal library are amazing. Completely amazeballs. I would grab them both. If I didn't already have them, honestly. But I'm also very much looking forward to the Kontakt instruments in the follow-up release on these. We'll get Rick in for an interview, and we'll go through these again by way of Kontakt. And yes, here are those notes. Aurea. And you can watch the VOD to kind of hear my thoughts rattled off quickly. I know it was quickly. But I think that all of those would really just take this thing to a completely different level of solid, right? All right, so anyway, ghosthack.de, if you want to pick up any of these, this is the link for the cyber, and I don't get anything for these, you guys. If you pick these up, it makes no difference to me. I'm not earning like a commission here or anything. I'm just letting you guys know about something awesome. So those are the links, the direct links to the things if you want to go check out what we were looking at today. And before we bounce, I'm going to circle back up here to Nate's. And like I said, Warrior, come back next week when we're on again, when I'm not running into client sessions for the rest of the day. And we'll take a deeper dive, and we'll take a look at other stuff. Same goes for you, Frenty. And here we go, Nate. This is a whip, and it's for a client. What's the backstory here? Where is the backstory here? I thought I saw it in here. No NDA, so we can play it in its entirety. Cool. Okay. Welcome, Eric. Yeah, we're on our way out. It's for a magic shop. Nate, this is solid, obviously. I mean, all your stuff has been solid. Part of me thinks that one of these elements in here should be slightly filtered. Or maybe the reverb should be a bit more constrained. It sounds a little spacious. It's for a mobile game, or but will it loop? Oh, that's funny. A cat meowing. That's awesome. Mobile and Steam. Okay. Yeah, I think I would restrain the overall frequency spectrum of the reverb channel itself for the entire thing. And part of me feels like one of the things right in the middle of the mix needs to be, like, the top needs to be rolled off of it. Or maybe it's just that if you were to take the tapping and the zithery instrument in there, if you were to take those down like 2 dB each and bring the rest up, it might be a little bit better balanced. There's I love the finger textures on the drums and these super subtle little fills that you've got in there. I mean, obviously this is a work in progress, so you still have to compress the thing, but the tablas are a bit loud. Yeah, I'm thinking that the tapping is, I'm assuming that that's what some of these peaks are here. One other thing is I would stagger your MIDI just slightly in the delivery of all the pizzicato stuff. I think it would feel just slightly more organic. It seems like they're all kind of lining up right now. It would add some cool width and offsetting. Yeah, I just rein in the reverb a bit. Didn't offset during these fit strings compared to the first round. Good, good, good. Yeah, I feel like the strings and stuff, the low end is touching the middle of the mix a bit too much as they're still ringing out. So, you know, maybe putting on like a 6 dB per octave cut and just bring that up a little bit more to attenuate those gently but effectively in that space. And then also bring in your frequency range in its entirety on the reverb, I think. And again, you can do that just with like a super gentle 6 dB per octave curve on the high and the low. Yeah, close your eyes while you're bringing it down so you're not actually looking at it. But that's it. That's it. That's all I got for you on that one. It's freaking brilliant, of course. And of course, it fits the mood exactly because you're doing it. So, with all that said, big love to all you guys. And I appreciate you, as always, hanging out with me today. Maybe I'll leave you with the new one. What else do I have for you? It's Friday, so I hope you all have a great weekend. Hope you all get some good downtime and find some inspiration to make something new. And if not something new, to push something across the finish line that's been sitting on your drive for far too long. It's a challenge. Purple Pros, thank you. But yeah, big love to everybody. I see there's a whole bunch of lurkers here still. Avon, thank you so much for coming by. It was great having you here. We got to catch up, dude. Glad you're doing all right. Sorry about your head. Bitcoiny, bonch, bonch, bonch. Clear, Commander. Andremia, Eric. Extra. Feet, Gabe. Go, Guy. Have. A Delara. Joint effort. Purple, Subvids, Violets, and Zaris if you're still lurking. Thank you all. And I'll see you on the flip. I'll let you guys vibe to this as I peace out. I'll see you guys on the flip Monday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Be here. We've got some really good stuff lined up the next couple of weeks. Fun stuff. You're not going to want to miss it. Oh, and hit the sub button and go grab all your free sound packs from the Discord before they disappear. It's a ridiculously stupid thing that I do, right? It's what, like $5 to subscribe, which I get like $2 of or something. And then you guys get like 6 sound packs or something. It's freaking ridiculous. Go do it. Go do it. Here's the link for the Discord. Do it before I change my mind. And I'll see you guys on the flip. I appreciate all of you. Cheers. Peace out, homies.